And with that out of the way, let's go right ahead and talk about the Timberwolves up against the Denver Nuggets. So Anthony Edwards called it. He's got a little bit of MJ in him. Like, I will definitely say that. This man, when he was in Game 5 over at Denver, he was talking to one of the like people who works on the courts for Denver, and he was like, "See you in Game 7." And now in Game 6, the Timberwolves win 115-70. And a little bit of an interesting stat that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want to know. That Anthony Edwards is now third in most points per game in the first 10 games of a postseason. So number one is Kobe Bryant in 2001, averaging 32.4 points per game. Number two is LeBron James. Of course, LeBron's going to make a list, averaging 30.9 points in 2006. And now Anthony Edwards averaging 30.2 points in 2024. Age 22 or younger in NBA history. I forgot to add that. So most points per game in first 10 games of the postseason at age 22 or younger goes Kobe, LeBron, then Anthony Edwards. So very impressive stat right there. Another ridiculous stat is that the Nuggets not scoring more than 80 points in a playoff game. They've only done that 3 times in the entirety of Jokic's career. So they've done that twice in this series, and they only did it once in the rest of the Jokic era combined. And that one game was against Rudy Gobert and the Jazz in 2020. So while Rudy Gobert was getting a lot of hate for not being able to guard Jokic and not being able to defend him, and for being a defensive player of the year, he should also get respected as being one of the only people that can somewhat slow him down or somewhat stop his team, this, that, and the other. Because it's no coincidence that every single time that the Nuggets score less than 80 points, it's when Rudy Gobert is the defensive player of the year. Like, it's no coincidence. It's way too apparent to be a coincidence. And those are just some interesting numbers that went into the series. Another thing that should also be a little bit concerning for these players is that now Jokic is angry. Like, I saw him on the court side. He did not sit down throughout the entirety of the fourth quarter. He stood up, and he was mad. Like, he was so upset that he lost that game. It almost looked like he wanted to drop 50, 20, and 14 right on the spot right there. Like, he was really upset. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of him being upset in this game, but I don't really think it's relatively new, and I don't think there's going to be any images up there just yet. But if you look at the image, like, you just look up Jokic being upset, and like you scroll through Twitter, like, you'll see, like, he was really mad. He was very, very upset, and honestly, I'd be pretty upset as well, getting blown out by this much against the Timberwolves. Granted, the Timberwolves, they're a really good team. Like, we really should give more credit to where it's due, because they've responded, and now they forced a Game 7 against the defending champs. And Anthony Edwards in this game, he had 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Obviously, the 27 points is very impressive. 8 for 17 from the field as well. Again, impressive. And Mike Conley, he ended the game with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Jaden McDaniels, he ended the game with 21 points. Rudy Gobert ended the game with 8 points and 14 rebounds. And Karl Anthony Towns ended with only 10 points and 13 rebounds. But while he did only have 10 points on 10 shots, again, it didn't really matter, because a win is a win for these guys. And Rudy Gobert, he shot 50% from the field, 4 of 8 for 8 points. that's relatively decent. And honestly, like the defense that these guys were playing on the Nuggets was just that good. They didn't really need much scoring, considering how, I mean, Jokic was held 9 for 19 from the field, which is very inefficient for his standards. Like, for his standards, that's inefficient. We don't really see Jokic go 9 for 19 like that every single night. And he only had 22 points and 9 rebounds and only 2 assists. Like, that is a very, very low number of assists. And pardon me for, like, going over here and, like, moving my head, but like, I'm looking at the box scores. And, yeah, 22 points is pretty underwhelming for someone like Jokic. Jamal Murray, he's a little bit... He hasn't really been playing that well due to his, like, injury and, like, his sprain. But and, like... playing defense, like Anthony Edwards playing defense on him as well, also doesn't help. But like Jamal's really gonna have to start stepping it up if they're gonna wanna capitalize in Game 7, because 10 points, 5 assists. Again, I understand that he's injured, so you can't really pin it all on him. But if you know you're injured, and why are you taking 18 shots like that? Because he shot 4 for 18 from the field and only amounted to 10 points. That is a lot of shot attempts for somebody who is supposed to be injured. Like, if you're injured like that, don't hinder your team by chucking the ball up. At least that's my thought about it. Because, like, I mean, it could have completely gone the other way around if he was hitting a bunch of shots while still injured, like Luka Doncic. But he's not Luka. So I feel like he should have just, like, relax a little bit, maybe don't have the ball, maybe let somebody else handle the offense while you sit there and stand in a corner or like spot up for them, because if you're playing injured, you're only going to hurt your team. Like, I remember in 2021 when James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, they were all on the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie got badly injured in game 3 or 4, forget exactly which game it was. But then James Harden comes back from his hamstring injury or his hamstring soreness that he was suffering after game 2. And instead of, like, helping the team, he was just being the biggest ball hog I've ever seen. He was hogging the ball for 24 seconds and he was just shooting a very contested step back 3. That wasn't helping our team. That wasn't helping them at all. And it's sort of similar to what Jamal Murray was doing in this game with his injury and just chucking the ball up. Like, that's not going to help your team. Regardless, even if he did or didn't chuck the ball up, the rest of the team wasn't helping that much either. Contavious Caldwell-Pope was 2 for 6 from the field. Michael Porter Jr. was 3 of 9 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Christian Braun was also 1 of 6 from the field. And there were a lot of people that played in garbage time. Good Lord. Justin Holiday, 0 for 5. Reggie Jackson, 0 for 6. DeAndre Jordan, 0 for 1. Hunter Tyson, 0 for 2. And let's see, Jalen Pickett, 1 for 2. Like, it was incredibly underwhelming in this game. The only player who really played well, the only 2 players that played well were Jokic, and even then, Jokic was rather underwhelming, and Aaron Gordon. But then again, like, Aaron Gordon was 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3 with 12 points. It is still a little bit underwhelming, but still, he played pretty well compared to the rest of the team that was just ugh. And on the Timberwolves side, again, they had Anthony Edwards scoring very well. They also had Jaden McDaniels going 8 for 10. Then Naz Reid played phenomenal defense despite going 4 for 12 from the field. And basically, that was all for they didn't really need much scoring in this game because the Timberwolves didn't shoot that efficiently at all. And for Denver didn't shoot efficiently at all whatsoever. I mean, 19% from 3, 7 for 36 from the field, 7 for 36 from 3, and 30% from the field, while the Timberwolves were 37% from 3 and 46% from the field. You're not going to win a game shooting that badly. We have somebody in the chat. Oh, Andrew Tate. Do you give Minnesota a chance in Game 7? Jokic looked really pissed that he lost that game, so I'm scared. And because I've never seen Jokic that angry before, and I have a feeling he's going to give Rudy Gobert 60 or some ridiculous stat. He's definitely going to fill up the stat sheet in that game. So it could really go either way. But with Ant in the lineup, anything's possible. Like, anything is possible with Ant in the lineup. I mean, he's the one who called the fact that this series was going to 7 games, so I'm not really going to put anything past him. But at the same time, Jokic is extremely pissed off. Like, very mad. So, with that, we are out of time for this first segment. So now I will go ahead and go into the second segment where we talk about OG Anunoby being out for Game 6 and what exactly that could mean for the New York Knicks going into the series. So I will be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown. Get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the